welcome to the Coriolis effect. Karen Barraza is here today, and I'm very, very excited to have you. You kind of remind me of when I was, just came here to LA. You are an actress. Mm-hmm. You are a professional hobbyist.
That's what I
You love learning things, which I love about you. That's amazing.
With a load of 350 unanswered auditions ahead of you.
Or you could just get your first one, because it's just a numbers game, and it doesn't matter. You could literally, I'm telling you, the world is your oyster.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for coming today. Thank you for being here. I would love to know a little bit about you and your journey and what inspired you to want to act.
But first,
I know. I'm so sorry. You're like Gelman. Do you know Gelman?
No.
Oh.
I just smiled.
But first, we do have a sponsor who has been generous enough to let us talk about their faith box and what is inside, and it's an amazing subscription box which you can subscribe for and get once a month, and it has I won't go through all the goodies because I did in the first one, but they literally send it random things in here, and they're from artisans all around the world. It's beautiful, and I get excited every month it comes, and it's like Christmas every month. And this month, this is January, and this had like a beautiful
I see that.
you can have it actually. And yes, it's from Faithbox, and in the box, that's probably really loud, is an impact guide which tells all about that cross, so we'll have to let you see that. And there's a beautiful leather journal. I mean, they give books away. My song was in one of these boxes.
Show them the journal. It's a good part.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how much time that came. I'll show you everything. They have pens.
No, just
kind of cool. You want to see the journal? Yeah, it's actually leather-bound, beautiful journal, right?
I love journals.
Isn't it beautiful? And it's leather, and it's actually not a journal. It's a 2021 calendar.
Oh my God.
So it's heavy too. I mean, they really go the distance with this box, and I've really received some beautiful items in the box.
You know what
I
they
get
call
one every
a calendar that you write your thoughts in every day? A journal.
A journal.
Oh, good to know.
That's Bob. But they have been generous enough to give a promo code of Cory10, and whoever decides to subscribe to Faithbox.
CORYT.
They'll make a great
gift. It is a great gift. Mm-hmm. I agree. It's a great gift. Mm-hmm. And there's just beautiful, inspiring quotes in here, and there's a impact guide and a daily devotional, which is kind of cool. I kind of throw it in my purse, and
I was really talking to the owner of this balm line, and she agreed to put her balm on our show.
Well, that was Faithbox. Yes, I do have a company called BeverlyHillsBalm.com, and we have collectively decided to sponsor the show as well. And so it is a natural balm line.
Sure.
And it is, the cool thing about this though, guys and girls love it. Comes in this little box with this little paper, but it's a jumbo size, and it's very, very, very cool. It's a minty flavor, and it has 5 ingredients. I used to be a hair and makeup artist in the industry, and I just would read the back of a level of ingredients, and I was like, I don't even know some of these names. Like, why would I put that on my skin? Our skin is our largest organ, and it absorbs everything. And so I pared it down to 5 really great ingredients, and it's been really great. Does that have your lips on it? It does have my lips on it. It does, actually. Where are they? Oh, I don't know. They're in here somewhere. Sorry, they're not on these two, but I will bring them next time. I kissed a paper, and we shrunk them down, and that's the seal of our balm, is my lips, actually. Nice, so it's kind of cool. I'll send you some. We'll get your address, and I'll send you some.
The size is perfect, because like that, it doesn't get lost in my purse.
It doesn't, and you can travel with it. It's only 50 ounces, so they won't confiscate it. So it's fun, yeah. And then I guess I might as well bring up the fact, if you're watching and you're tuning in, if you subscribe.
So that dress looks familiar.
If you subscribe to the subscription below or up high, I'm not sure where it is, you will enter yourself for one of there's only 5 Beverly Hills pawn dresses. It was a little show I did 5 years ago, and I am going to be giving one away. And so I won't necessarily be the one I have on right now. I haven't put it on in a while, so I'm kind of squeezed in. But I am going to give one away. So please subscribe. You'll be automatically entered into what is it called?
Raffle.
A raffle. Yes, thank you. Yeah. A raffle, and I will ship this dress along with a note saying thank you.
We'll write out all the names on paper, and you'll pick it on air.
I will. I'll write out all the names on paper, and I'll pick it on air. Perfect.
There you go.
So you'll be our first name.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I love it. It looks really great.
So
yeah.
Guests on the show are not eligible to win the contest.
Yeah,
I'll make a fake name.
Yes, they are. Yeah. Well, Karen Barraza, thank you so much for being here today. I can't wait to dive into your journey and your life. And so first, I guess just tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're from and what inspired you to want to become an actress.
Well, I was born in Sinaloa, Mexico. And I guess my entire family's super talented. My grandma's an amazing singer and storyteller. She walks in the room and she's just like, she talks with her hands and she's everywhere and everybody's laughing and she's super talented. So I grew up watching her, and when I would gather with my family, we would always have either like dance performances, shows, but my parents got a divorce when I was 6, and my mom and I kind of went in our own little journeys, and we moved from Sinaloa to Tijuana, and then we ended up migrating to the U.S.
Wow.
When I was, technically when I was 8 years old. We crossed the border, and we ended up in Santa Barbara.
Wow.
And we lived in this little room, and it was horrible because I didn't speak the language. They put me in a normal class, and the teacher kind of didn't like that I was there because I was slowing everyone down, and I just didn't like it. You know, I love my family. I love them. I love being Mexican, and I just miss them so much. And what happened was that while we were in Santa Barbara, 9/11 happened.
Oh my gosh.
And we were away from family, and it was just me and my mom, and I was used to being around cousins all the time. So being in Santa Barbara and that happening as an 8-year-old, I kind of thought that it was happening like next door. I was like, I'm in the U.S., you know, and this is happening in the U.S. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. I begged my mom. I was like, please,
scary.
Let's just go back to Mexico. And unfortunately, they closed the borders and we couldn't leave. So we had to wait. But then we ended up going back to Mexico. And I thought that was like it, you know, I was going to be back with my family, but we ended up, my mom actually, we stayed in Tijuana, and my mom ended up crossing the border again. And I stayed with my aunt for about 9 months. And
let me just ask you really quick. You're saying that, you said that like 3 times, crossing the border. And, you know, there's all this controversy about the border right now. And so what was that like for an 8-year-old, and how scary must that have been for you to leave your world behind and, you know, cross into the unknown? What do you remember about it, if anything?
Yeah, actually, I remember a lot. For me, it's I don't mind talking about it. I think it's just like it was part of my journey,
and I appreciate it. Yeah.
And when I hear people talk about, you know, immigrants and undocumented immigrants, and they have like a stereotypical idea of how they look, and, you know, maybe older men with a sombrero, and, you know, they don't barely speak any English, which is fine. There is a lot of those. But, you know, when they are saying, oh, you know, illegal aliens, they're also talking about the 9-year-old self. Yeah,
that's why I'm asking your heart in that moment. What do you remember about it? That must have been very, that's a lot for a 9-year-old to take on.
Yeah.
Did you understand the meaning of it then? Or was it?
It was kind of odd because I knew my mom was gone, and I was staying with my aunt and my cousins in Tijuana, and I was just waiting. My mom came to kind of establish herself, make sure, you know, she had a job and somewhere for me to arrive at.
But the first time you came, but you remember that?
The crazy thing is, for me, that didn't even feel like the second time I crossed was the time that was the most impactful one.
Got it.
Because I crossed the border alone with a coyote and a group of about 10 to 11 people. I remember packing my bags, and I knew my aunt was explaining to me what's going to happen. You know, tomorrow they're going to pick you up, and you're going to go here, and this is this, and you're going to listen to this person, and, you know, they're going to take care of you, and you're going to see your mom. And so in my head, I was like, I'm going to see my mom. That was, like, the only thing that I could, you know, I was just like, okay, I'm going to see my mom. And the next morning that happened, I got picked up by this man who happened to be like, I knew of him. He was kind of like a family friend, so he was familiar. He didn't feel like a stranger, and I felt comfortable around him. And so I go and I get picked up, and we go to the pharmacy because I had asthma. So I got all my stuff. And then we went to a hotel room, and I remember this, being at a hotel room with all these strangers, and we were just waiting to get the kind of like a Greyhound bus. We were there, and they I remember them saying, oh, we've been trying to cross. This is going to be our third time. Maybe you're our good luck charm. And me being a 9-year-old, I was like, I don't know what that means, but okay. But I remember that. And there was 2 ladies there. And the moment they saw me, they took me under their wing, and they're like, we're taking care of you. And I feel like that mother instinct kicked in. Yeah. It kicked in, and they were with me the entire time. We got into this bus, and we started driving off somewhere into the desert, and it was kind of like a mountain. And we were probably in the bus for about an hour, and then it stopped in the middle of nowhere. And then they're like, okay, it's time to get out. And we got out, and the rest of the group got out. And next thing you know, we're like, go around the bus, and we start walking towards the desert. And so at that time, it's kind of blurry. And I don't know if it's my brain trying to blur out, you know, I don't remember too much. But I do remember us running and kind of being followed. And then we kept running so far, and then the group kind of like...
Who was following you?
Well, in my head, I think I was a cop. But they
were you in America at the time?
No, I was still in Tijuana.
Okay.
So what happened was we were running, and the ladies were with me, and then everybody kind of disappeared. Everybody went their own ways, and next thing you know, like a couple minutes later, the group kind of came together again. And we were in the desert already. And then when we were there, the ladies the cop was following us, but he wasn't going after us. He was going after the leader. So he didn't care about the 2 women and the child. He was going after the leader.
Who orchestrated it.
Yeah. But then, you know, we were all together, and then we started walking. And I remember the first night, we walked a lot, and then that night there was this kind of house that was kind of in the distance, but there was this white van, and inside the white van there was you know, when they take the seats out, and it's just like the yellow cushion of this. Yeah, we all kind of slept there, kind of.
God, this is like
spooning.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is like a lot for a 9-year-old to go through. I mean, you literally have details down to the color of the foam that's in the car. Like this is what, and I'm not. We're going to go back to that. I'm just. It's incredible to me because, you know, we have what we're teaching our kids at that age is so impactful. I mean, you saw so much at such a young age.
Yeah.
And I thank you for sharing this because it's,
absolutely.
It's a story that's obviously embedded greatly in your mind and has helped develop who you are, right?
I truly, truly believe it is one of the most impactful things that happened to me and what follow after that. that
don't give it all away. You need to write this down. Like you need to write a story because you said Sinaloa, and I'm like, where have I heard that? Where have I heard that? There's a show on.
Oh yes, Narcos.
No, there's the other one with what's the other one?
Queen of the South.
Yeah, Queen of the South, which I watched.
Yes.
I binged watched that in the beginning of, and that takes place in Sinaloa.
Sinaloa, and it's
a couple
part
other
of
places.
the reason why my mom
decided
to get out because in Sinaloa there isn't. Don't get me wrong, I have incredibly talented family, became architects, teachers, engineers, business owners. Yes, but the opportunities are very limited. At some point you probably know somebody that works for somebody who's in that world, and
she wanted a safer environment for you.
She knew that there, and my mom was 28 and I'm 28 right now.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm thinking, man, if I had an 8-year-old right now, what would I do?
Yeah.
And I understand
why she did it. And are you an only child?
I am.
You are, okay. And so going on to, we'll hear more of that story because it's really, I want to protect that story for you for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like you have a story to tell, and giving it all away is like, I mean, that's incredible that you had such details. It makes me think I have a 21-year-old.
Oh, wow.
And it makes me think.
Not look like you have a 21-year-old.
Thank you, but it makes me think like, gosh. Okay. Sorry? So a lot of noise.
A lot of noise.
But I think like, what was I teaching her? What was she learning at 9, 8 or 9? And then here you are, really in this movie scene. It's kind of like a movie scene. And you had mental imprints. So how has that, not totally jumping into subjects, but I could go on and hear all of that because that's amazing. But how has that, now I really need to know where this is from. If this is from Sinaloa, I'm literally going to be like,
no, I mean Sinaloa.
We're going to find out because it's in the impact guide, guys. So stay tuned because we'll find out.
I love Sinaloa. Listen, I love the culture, the music. It has so many beautiful people, but unfortunately, it's kind of been overshadowed by some of the most. Just some unfortunate things, you know?
I totally get it. But how has that, you come from a line of entertainers, or you said your aunt sang, or your grandma?
Yeah.
Are you a singer as well? No. You can sing.
In the shower. I like to think maybe I could have been, I don't know.
What gave you the acting bug? Because a lot of people come here, to act in LA. I grew up watching a lot of comedic shows in Mexico. Eugenio Derbez, which he's now transitioning into Hollywood, which is awesome to see. He had a lot of impact on me when I was a kid. And he is
an actor and comedian. And they had shows in Mexico with,
Sorry, it's made by orphans in Uganda.
Just as good.
It's still.
That's so good. Yeah. So okay. All right. We love that.
It's even more meaningful now.
Right. Yeah. I love that. I love your attitude.
Yeah.
Handmade by orphans in Uganda.
Yeah. Well, for those of you just tuning in, this was from Faith Box, and it is there's all around the world are artisans in here. Stop. And it's from orphans in Uganda, yes. But so we were talking about your career and your love and passion for acting and what made you want to do that. Because you have to love it.
You have to. Oh my God. I don't think I would be doing this still if it wasn't because I love it. I love I always enjoyed entertaining my family. That's really where it started. They're just seeing their reactions when I would put on a character or I would imitate certain characters that I seen on TV and do like funny accents and funny jokes. And I got it from my grandma. But there's dancers and there's actors. I have a cousin who's pursuing acting in Mexico City and she's doing very well. But I think I love movies that sparked my imagination because in a way it was like an escape.
Well, I was just going to say your imagination got sparked at a young age because even having to go through what you had to go through.
Yeah. And it was tough. Being a 9-year-old, and it really started when my parents got a divorce, because even though the big thing happened when I was 9, my mom had to make certain sacrifice, and I was kind of was left with my grandma and her aunt while she was finding jobs, and it was.
Is your dad still in
Sinaloa? Yeah, he is. Yeah. My dad had he was like the black sheep of the family. He had his own, things going on, which,
Yeah.
I get it. But I was a kid, and I was an only child, and I was curious, and I found ways to cope with what was going on by making others laugh, or
you like to entertain. You like to bring them to another place.
Yeah, it was just an escape for me while I was going through such heavy times.
And so fast forward to I don't know when it was, but I saw kind of a cool clip right before you came in about cracking the whip or whip cracking.
Yeah, one of the many random things I've picked up over the years, actually. When you're an actor and you're not, oh my God.
Whip practice.
Actually, that video right there, there's a better one.
A better one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
The one, the bottom one? That one.
This one?
Up.
This
Up.
one? That one?
No, up. The other one? That one. That's a fun
White
one.
stripes. Is that you?
Yeah. It looks so different. Oh my God. I just like making the videos.
I love it. Fun. You made these videos yourself?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It gets better. You'll see. You'll be like, what in the world?
Whip cracking.
Look.
We'll have to take out the audio.
What?
They're super, I trust them. They're professionals. They've been doing it for years.
No way. Ooh. How do they know exactly where to stand you?
It's an art form, once you learn how the whip works, you understand. It's not too hard to.
You literally stood there. He put the spaghetti in your mouth, and then he
cracked it with
the whip. The end of the whip comes around your face and cuts the spaghetti, and you're still standing there going, "Oh, thank you, Lord, for not getting my face." That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many years have you been doing that?
So I did that. We would meet every other weekend, and I think I did it consistently for a year. Eventually, I got distracted with other things, and I was like, I picked up other hobbies.
Yeah.
So
did you see that one? He's wrapping the whip around her neck.
Yeah, so it doesn't hurt because the
point.
The tip is what the little point.
Yeah, it feels good.
End.
Yeah, I like it.
No, it doesn't.
Corey, you'll love it. We'll do it with you.
Yeah.
After this, we'll go out in the front yard and we'll. You got your whip with you?
I can show you.
Yeah, she always carry it. A good whip artist always carries whips with you.
Oh my gosh!
Exactly.
I'm literally gonna promo you right now. If anybody's doing a movie that needs a whip cracker,
guys,
Karen Barraza is available.
Or a girl stand here and have a whip wrap around her neck.
God.
A disclaimer:
amazing.
I'm not a professional. It was just I was
curious.
Karen, as soon as somebody pays you for it, you're a professional.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I did a music video.
I'm not a professional.
Did you get paid?
I did a music video.
You're a professional. That's the definition of professional.
Yes.
You got paid for what you did.
I did. It was a camp.
Which means you can't be in the Olympics now, sorry.
Yeah. Excuse me. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I ended up doing it. All the little things that I've done, I've ended up doing them in some sort of project. I've picked up knife throwing as well. And I got to do it for a music video too.
Did you really? You killed 3 people with the knife video?
Yeah.
You did it in a music video?
Yes.
For who?
Okay, the music video is called I Wanna Kill My Rapist.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
It's
what?
Yeah.
Karen,
she's a comedian.
Totally
She's a comedian. She's a
What?
comedian.
It's a funny music video.
No, it's not.
Is that actually punked?
No, it's a funny one.
No.
Go like this. Go like this.
Wait.
And this is where we'll put the.
No, we're not putting that.
It's a comedian. I forgot her name, but she's super talented. She just has, she uses art to express things that happened to her, which I totally respect.
Oh
but it was like,
bless her heart.
Yeah,
Okay,
you might find
this
it
is
eventually.
this is
I
the
know, it's
Coriolis effect. So it's both the left and the right, and we're just gonna throw
Keep
it
an
all
open
in
mind,
there.
Cory.
I have one.
Hold on. Go ahead. I'm just.
it's a great. And the thing is,
I'm so sorry.
it's
So
yeah.
I'm more fascinated
Yeah.
by, I guess, being in the industry myself and having been in it for almost 30 years. I'm more fascinated as your passion towards, wanting to pursue something that is.
You started
there's
when you
so
were
much.
7?
There's so much rejection in this business that, it always fascinates me when people are like, I want to be an actor, I want to be an actress, because I know that, there are people that just come up here and they make it right away, and then there's the rest that are challenged.
Yeah.
And I would ask you, what has been some of your biggest challenges in this business, trying to move forward or
Yeah,
securing auditions, especially in the last, since COVID has hit, in the last 10 months, it's been a whole new world. Feeling a song coming on. But, right. See, you do have a good voice. I knew you could sing. What has been some of your great challenges in the last 9-10 months? Or in general?
Well, so I actually have been pursuing acting for quite a while. I started when I was 15. I'm 27 now, just in case.
You're young.
Yeah.
You're so young. You look 18, which is a compliment. You look so young.
Thank you. I appreciate
7 minutes ago she said she was 28, so.
Well, she's
by
probably
the end of
gonna
the
just
show,
be
she'll be
28.
24.
Oh, well, I'm going to be 28.
Yeah.
You're going to be 42
in July.
also.
Oh, God. He's little.
I always
Don't listen to him.
I'd rather put,
Yeah.
That 28
I'm
sounds so much better than 27.
I'm halfway 27, you know what I mean? But I went to a performing arts high school in downtown LA. It was like a public high school. And my mom didn't know how to get me into it. I was like obsessed. I was like, I want to do this. I have to do this. And she didn't, she's an immigrant mother. She doesn't speak English. We don't come from a lot of money. So she was just... The thing about my mom, she doesn't know how to help me, but the only thing she knows how to do is love me and support me. And that's all I need. That's all I need.
Yeah.
And she kind of she's just, on your way. So I started looking into stuff. I eventually found this public performing arts high school, and I was like, free art classes? I was like, hell yeah. And so I transferred my junior year and I started there. However, I was still undocumented. I was still an illegal immigrant at that time. And, I was like, well, I'm doing what I love. I'm learning. I'm working on my craft. But it wasn't until I was 19 that the defer action for childhood arrivals became a thing. And I was able to apply for a work permit and a social and a driver's license. And even though all my friends were going off to NYU and they were going off to Harvard and UC Berkeley, and I kind of sit tight and was like, I don't know what's going to happen after I graduate high school. I might have to work will have to work under the table, or maybe I'll have to go back to Mexico. I don't know. I just know I wanted to do acting. This is all I've ever wanted to do. Ever since I found out that you can do acting and get paid for it, I was like, this is what I want to do. So I didn't end up applying for any colleges or schools because I would be charged out-of-state tuition. And my mom just, quite frankly, we didn't have the money for it. So, I decided, well, I'll work under the table. But that year after high school, I took random jobs, and that was challenging because in my heart, I knew that I wanted to be an actor. But I didn't have a work permit. I didn't have social, so I worked under the table, but I still decided to sign up for community college to take art classes, and that's all I did. And I applied, and that's literally all I did. I didn't care for getting my associates.
So then at what point did you actually transition? And you said you didn't have your papers, but then you ended up getting your papers. And so take us through that journey, because that must have been an amazing day too for you.
Yeah, so a year after I graduated high school, the DACA pass, right? And that was a big deal. I remember saying, oh my God, like, my wish came true. I was like, all I wanted was an opportunity to follow my dreams, and I didn't care to become a citizen as long as I can follow my dreams. As long as I can follow my dreams and work here legally and not have to worry about a driver's license and getting pulled over or getting deported, that's like,
wow. So you knew immediately when you got here, you knew that was a possibility.
No. To get papers?
No, to go through all those things, like being deported, you knew that you could.
Yes.
And so you carried that from 9 to, how old were you when you got your papers?
19.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
It's 10 years of living in fear.
Yeah.
To some degree. Probably not every day, but.
I did. And it was difficult because I remember as a 13, like being really young, like 13, and trying to, like, I would Google almost every day, being like, how can I get my citizenship? Like, maybe something that, there's a loop. Maybe there's something that that I don't know. So I would Google and try to talk to, attorneys. And as a very young kid, because first of all, I wanted to go to a summer camp. And they were asking for social. And I was like, I don't have a social. Mm-hmm. And so I remember Googling it and then seeing those articles and comments of people being like, they don't belong here, they're taking our jobs, why should they get their paperwork if there's so many U.S. citizens that, don't have work, and if their parents brought them here legally, they don't belong here, like all these things. So as a 13-year-old seeing that, and at a moment, there was a point where I was like, they're right. Why should I get my paperwork? Why should I, get to chase my dream? And that in a way was a blessing in disguise, because since I didn't have access to all these things that my friends had, all these opportunities, I had to figure out how to do what I love somewhere else. I had to get creative. I had to search other places, and the desire of wanting to do this kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So when DACA passed, I was like, I'm going for it. And I even told myself when I was 15, I was like, if I'm going to be in this country, I'm going to follow my dream. And the day that I quit, I'm going back to Mexico, because it's not worth it being without my family. If I'm here doing what everybody else is doing and just like getting a job. And
so you got your papers at 19.
I got my work permit.
Your work permit.
I can work here legally, pay taxes, do the whole shebang, but I'm not considered a U.S. citizen or a resident, so I can't leave the country. I can, but if I leave, I won't be able to come back.
I gotcha.
Yeah. But to me, that was...
So once you've been a resident for 10 years, you can apply to be a citizen.
No, because I'm not a resident.
Oh, I got
it was like a made-up law. It was like a little thing that was just kind of created.
Well, so you're here and you're able to act.
Yeah.
And tell us about some of the roles that you have done.
Well, I've done a lot of short films. When I started out, I went to ELAC and I actually played Gwendolyn in The Importance of Being Earnest, which was really fun.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of Hispanic people playing British people. And,
did you have an accent?
I did.
Oh my gosh, good for you. That's hard.
And we had a dialect coach, which was really fun. And I actually ended up getting nominated for an Irene Ryan.
Oh, that's amazing.
In the college competition. They picked 2 people from the cast to go compete like in a regional kind of level. And through that, I did a competition, and I ended up getting invited to do Stella Adler Summer Conservatory.
Yeah.
And then I did that. And while I was in that play, I was still undocumented. But by the end of the play, literally the last show, my application process for DACA got accepted.
Yeah.
It was like, last show, come home, and finally my application.
That's like a movie. Your whole life's like a movie scene. It's like you need to save the rest because I feel bad getting it out. It's like it's amazing.
I mean, honestly,
Who do you think should play her in her life story?
I don't know.
J-Lo. Wait, no, my mom is like, if they ever end up making the movie, can J-Lo be?
I don't think
When you're your own grandmother, yeah. But
I actually don't think J-Lo. I'm sorry,
no.
J-Lo, but I don't think that you should play Cameron. I think that
I don't think she can handle an 18-year-old.
Oh,
yeah,
Selena Gomez.
Well,
for sure, Selena.
Well, no, you need to find
listening.
somebody in their teens.
somebody that's a kid.
You find a
could
young
play
one.
the
A young kid.
and then you could transition. But so tell me what some of I don't want to get off track because I'm
You know the best J-Lo joke, right?
No, I don't know.
My wife has a butt like J-Lo. Jello.
Wah, wah, wah. Let's enter the wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah.
The knee slapper.
So if you could pick, I know we have like limited time, I'm sorry, but
No
if you
worries.
could pick any role that people always ask me this, and
Yeah.
I know what I would say and have said, but if you could pick a role
Yeah.
on any show, what would it be?
I want to be a host on Beverly Hills Pond.
I'll be. She's like, no. So I was always, as a kid, inspired by Charlie's Angels, and
Yes.
specifically
Wait a minute,
Lucy.
the TV show or the movie?
Not the TV. Come on.
I'm asking, that's why.
I tried out for the movie.
Farrah Fawcett's great.
Yeah.
Well,
but
they had reruns.
They remade it.
I love
You know, I was alive when they came out.
the Drew Barrymore
Yeah.
and the Lucy Liu. I would look at her because I would look at her and be like, I want to play that role.
You could have played that role for sure. Yeah, you could have
So,
nailed that role.
I think the
then-
comedic ones and funny action comedic ones are like my
That's your
favorite.
thing.
I'm like, I would love to do that.
And what about if you were on the show Friends? Would you be Monica, Rachel, or Phoebe?
Oh man.
Friends was a show in the 90s, right?
She knows.
I've seen it. Okay.
They're still in reruns.
No, it's even more popular now that
Yeah.
quarantine and everything. You know what? I think I would love to play Phoebe.
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
I think that would be, yeah.
it would be fun.
Yeah, she was actually very versatile too. It's going into
They said she was the best actress of the three of them.
yeah. I actually have a photo with Jennifer Aniston, and I'll give it to you. You can superimpose it. It's kind of funny. I was at a pool party. This was when she had just started, and no, I wasn't in a bikini. My friend and I were the only ones that were not in bikinis. But we actually shared the same. His name was Beach, and he was he was her landlord, and he was mine and my friend Tara's.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked her, I was like, "Oh, what are you working on?" She goes, "Oh, I'm just working on this little pilot. You know how those go." I was like, "Oh."
And that
10
was
years
it.
later, Friends, that was the little pilot that she was
Just
working
a little
on.
pilot.
We'll have Ken Oakland as a guest. He was in Leprechaun with her.
Yeah.
That was his big hit.
Yeah, she was very sweet, but it was just kind of a funny moment because you just never know where life is going to take you. You of all people know that you've been.
Oh my God! Yeah.
You've been through it,
Yeah.
and you have a story to tell. And I love that you're here telling it, and that you're authentic, and you're willing to be vulnerable and honest. And that's sort of what our whole point of this show is.
Yeah.
Is the Coriolis effect is about the right and the left coming together in emotion.
And they go in their separate ways.
Yeah, right. And then going their separate ways, and whether or not people actually agree or disagree or like it or don't like it, we can all stay unified as one, right?
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
I think that, being our second guest is you are a divine appointment for me today.
Oh.
Yeah. And I am grateful for you driving out here and being willing to come here and share your story. And I want to hear more of it. And I think you should write it because I think you have a big story to tell.
Yeah.
And
Do you write?
Yes, in a way. I kind of picked up writing in quarantine, but more like blogging kind of style. I'm actually writing. I'm trying to write. I am like writing my life story. I guess.
Yeah.
I know a great guy who teaches a screenwriter's class.
I would. Yeah.
Angus Bengfield, you love.
Oh, that. Mm-hmm. I have heard. Yeah, screenwriting is different than just writing. I'm kind of writing more as like journal entries, and I told myself 3 pages a day, and then just for as long as you can. 3 pages is very small time, like you can commit to that. And I started this January, first 3 pages a day of just like kind of what I remember from my childhood and kind of,
chronicling it. Yeah, and just journaling it. It's amazing.
Yeah, doing a journaling and, whatever, at least I'll have that and maybe that can turn into an actual, I'm not very good with putting like the interior, and describing like screenwriting as just a whole other beast.
Yeah.
Well, take a class.
Yeah.
And whether you take Angus or not, but definitely take a class.
For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna look into it.
Well, if anyone wants to get in touch with you to say, perhaps, I don't know, hire you to crack that whip on a series, on a TV series or a movie.
Yeah.
What do you have social media?
Yeah, I have.
You're talking to someone in their 20s. Do you have social media?
Well, I don't know.
Do you know anybody in their 20s who doesn't?
Some people don't.
Not in their 20s.
You know what? I did.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know
everyone has
anybody.
it?
Maybe in Uganda, but nobody in their 20s has.
Well, you have to kind of in this industry, which if I really, I don't like it. Sometimes it's like a love-hate relationship with social media. I think because there was a point where I didn't have. I grew up without social media.
Yeah.
It wasn't until after in my early 20s that, it started becoming a big thing. So part of me still like remembers those days.
The trick of social media is never read the comments.
Oh, but sometimes you want... Oh, well, I mean, depends because I connect with a lot of people through comments.
Yeah. DMs or comments?
I was just going to
Comments
say,
too. Yeah.
Comments are good. And, even the bad ones. Yeah, I've made some very good friends, even, trying to understand. And that's the whole point of this show is trying to understand each other.
Yeah.
Even through other people's eyes. And it's not just about our own filter. God has many filters. And so I just... What is your...
Hold on. How do we get in touch with you? You went off topic. How do we get in touch with you? Go like this. And we'll put it right there.
My Instagram, it's at ITSKAAYBE. It's KB.
It's KB. Okay.
Yeah.
And just Instagram or?
Just Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the easiest way.
Not with the TikTok or the Facebook.
I do have a TikTok, but I don't really like communicate with people.
It's not interactive.
No. Okay. It's more like I create some funny videos here and there, but Instagram's
not with the WhatsApp or the Snapchat or the.
Of course, WhatsApp. I gotta keep in touch with my family back in Mexico. Everybody.
Why do people pay for payphones when you can WhatsApp for free all around the world?
Yeah,
I mean, pay for not payphones, cell phones.
To have the WhatsApp on though.
Yeah, but
you can have the phone and then you can just internet access.
Internet access, right?
For WhatsApp.
But you can WhatsApp on your computer.
I don't think it's going to pick up in the US.
Sponsored to you today
by
WhatsApp.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm only kidding. Well, let us know when you do, book something or what that looks like for you. And we just wish you the very best in life. And I want to hear more of your story, but I also want to say that I feel like, I'm listening to this story and I watched Queen of the South, as I said in the beginning, and there's a lot of things that are similar in some ways.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a lot of courage. You strike me as just a very, beautiful soul with a lot of courage. And
thank you.
Courage in this industry is like worth a lot of money because when you subject yourself to criticism or any kind of rejection, it takes a lot of courage. And so
it's been a journey.
I know.
It's been like 7 years of constant up and down and also balancing acting with like my survival job because I think that's the reason why it's been such a long process for me because I've had to I have to pay the bills and I have to...
What is your survival job?
I was working at events, actually, which was the first thing that got taken out.
Got it.
I was working in events and I got very lucky with the job. It didn't exist. I was working with a virtual reality company, and it was like a new thing, and they created the position kind of around us. And I got to like travel around the country, showing people virtual reality, which is how I met Phoebe. I did an event and she was there, and I was like, oh my God, I love you. But yeah, like I had to kind of balance those
Lisa
things.
Kudrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lisa Kudrow, yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, that's her. Yeah, I know my character names. And, that's one of the hard things too as an actor who, you have to, acting doesn't pay when you're starting out. And you have to figure out how to
Sometimes
survive.
It doesn't pay 30 years into the business.
I know. I was just going.
Speaking of that, do the 2 ads before we wrap up.
Speaking of
No, Heaven and
right. So you were just here, and you got to meet Angus Benfield, who has a movie coming out. You want me to literally read this? Yeah. Okay, Heaven the movie. Despite what you've heard, some theaters in America are still open, and playing in theaters across the country is a feel-good and uplifting movie entitled Heaven. Heaven follows the journey of a man who struggles with his faith and wonders if God really has a plan for him. And I know that you listening to your story, you probably wondered that yourself. And I know I've wondered it. I'm still sometimes wondering, what is my plan? What is my purpose? Yeah. It's based on the new book. Oh, sorry. That's loud. Based on the book by Alan Dupree, and starring Angus Benfield and Michelle Fazumaye. And Eric Roberts, who was Julia Roberts' brother. I don't know if you knew that. He's been around for a very long time. Heaven is definitely a movie worth seeing.
Speaking of God, our other sponsor.
I've got my sidekick over here. And speaking of God, our other sponsor, who is, yes, Fresh Encounter TV. And these particularly hard economic, political, and social times, it's good to hear an uplifting and spiritual message every week, which I happen to agree with. Yeah, and we'll talk about God with you in 1 minute. So listen to Pastor Godwin Otuno's weekly sermon on topics like unlocking your divine portion and sustaining your level of command on YouTube at Fresh Encounter TV. Fresh Encounter TV has dozens of sermons that will help you understand how to build your life according to his plan. That's Fresh Encounter TV on YouTube, or for an uplifting and spiritual message that will help you better your life. I want to say that I did all of that without wearing my glasses.
That's why I put it in 16 print.
Very nice. Thank you, Bob. I'm all about daily devotionals. I think that's very encouraging. I think that what we feed our mind with feeds our soul. And so you said you were a believer. Do you believe?
Yeah.
You are a woman of faith.
I am, and it wasn't until recently, actually. Recently, like about 2 years. I grew up Catholic, and I was forced to go to church, and I hated it. I mean, as a kid...
Been there, done that.
I did. I'm not going to lie. And I thought, why do I need to go to a church when I could just do it at home?
If God is everywhere, why do I have to go somewhere to meet him?
And I was a kid.
I don't have to dress up to go meet God. He sees me at night. I've been there.
But I actually had my best friend since high school that I met at the Performing Arts. She's a Christian, and since I've known her, she's always been devoted to God and always gone to church, and she's always invited me, and she never pressured me. She never was like, you should come. She never felt preachy. But being around her and just seeing how she is and how throughout these years she's just been so patient and graceful and just loving, and she just kind of puts her trust in God. And I was like, I want that. I want whatever you have. Like, I want it. Like, that inspires me. And I would go with her. I would go to church with her. The doggy.
Oh my gosh, it's like Tink is confirming that entire sentence.
He's feeling it.
What if we've not heard anything from your dog? And she's talking about the Holy Spirit, and look at how he's confirming.
Well, I don't know if you call it yakking up a bone.
Okay, whatever. I'm going with that story.
That's a sign.
It is. Oh my God.
Yeah, and so I would go with her, and then 2 years ago, kind of like all of our group friends from high school, we just kind of ended up gravitating towards each other because, you know, we go into our own separate worlds, but we're all, they're mostly raised, they're all from LA and, you know, except for me. But we kind of ended up coming back together, and then we started kind of doing like meetings at church, and then we'll go to church together every Wednesday. And 2 years ago, after going for like a couple of weeks, I was like, I want to get baptized. And the church was doing a baptized.
That's beautiful.
And I was like, I don't know anything. Like, I'm still figuring out. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the Bible or like the terminology stuff, but I just love going. And I'm like, you know, I'm gonna take it one day at a time. I got baptized, and then every Wednesday we would go to church, and it was just it was always like the best feeling. Yeah. I was like, and now that, and it's called Church Home, the one that we used to go to, and they had an app, which it's kind of crazy because, you know, when coronavirus happened, you know, they kind of promoted church at home, and they made it like they had been creating it. Like, if you can't make it to church, you know, gather your friends and like
get online.
Online, and they had an app. And you know, Corona happened, but we still had access to
Wouldn't you say that having that in your life kind of gives you and this is scripture, but it gives you a peace that passes all understanding?
Yeah.
Even though you don't know why you're going through something so difficult, you can still walk through it with a level of peace, and that you might not understand why, but you still have a little peace in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's the faith that I would see in my friend, because despite like, I've always wanted to be in control of everything. And I was like, things are not going my way. And I felt like I needed to like, just, what am I doing wrong, right? And going to church has made me really like put faith into practice. Just being able to let go and be like, I trust that he's taking care of it. Yes. Whatever I'm going through, like, I let go of trying to control it because I'm not the one in control.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to work out for the best because I've seen what he's done in the past. For me, getting DACA, that's something I had no idea was ever going to happen. And even though at the time I was wishing for something, in a way I was praying because I still have faith in God. I still believe in the God, even though I was Catholic. I mean, and I wasn't going to church, but I still believe in a God. And every night that I would say, I just want this to happen. I just want to be able to follow my dreams. I don't need to go back to Mexico. And then that happening, I'm not saying I take credit for all the praying that I did.
You're probably one of the several people praying that you can take some, that's praying is
and that
powerful.
Happened. And I'm like, how do you explain that? How do you explain that gut feeling? Like, where does that come from? And like, to me, it's like...
You're checking your spirit. That's what I tell my daughter. It's you're checking your spirit. Listen to your gut.
Yeah.
It's really will guide you. Yeah.
He's communicating with us. And I'm learning. I'm super new to it. Yeah. And there's still times where I'm like, okay, I don't like this, but I know there's a lesson. But, you know, I still break down and cry, and I'm just like, surrender. And I'm just like, I know things are going to work out according to your plan. And you have bigger plans for me than I could ever imagine for myself.
You're spot on.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. He does. And if he brings you to it, he'll see you through it.
Yeah.
And so just keep trusting that gut instinct because it seems like it's very powerful in your life. And he has huge plans. One of my favorite scriptures is Jeremiah 29:11, and it's, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. It's plans to prosper you, not harm you, and to give you hope in a future." And sometimes that's all I lean on is that scripture, but it says, lean not on your own understanding, right? And so just keep staying the course and, staying connected. It's much like, having now had a daughter myself, it's really, if she would have gone off to college and I had never spoken to her again, I would be crushed and I would be devastated. And we speak every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. We're very close. Aww. And it's much like my relationship with God. If I don't check in or just say hi or I love you, or it was a religion for me as a kid, but now it's more of a relationship. And you know, I really cherish hearing you because you're young, you're so young and beautiful, and you have so many wonderful things ahead of you. And but to speak them over yourself, speak them as though it is so, because you can do anything. And don't let anyone tell you you can't. I had so many people say, you'll never do this, you'll never do that. And I said, no, I'm never going to give up.
Yeah.
And so just trust your gut, because you can do anything, and you will. And I'm excited to watch your career and see where God takes it. So thank you for being here today.
Oh my God.
I don't want to make you cry, and we have no tissue because Bob doesn't believe in tissue.
When people want to hire you, what can you do besides other than act? You crack whips, you throw knives. What are your other talents?
Skateboard, I dance.
I've seen your skateboard videos, that's right.
You have? Oh my God.
We do our research on the show.
Yes. I dance. I love to dance. And then cry, obviously.
Oh, I'm
too.
sorry. I see so many
learning from
wonderful
the
things
master over
ahead
here.
for you. I know. I just, sometimes you just meet people along the way and they'll affect your life, and you don't even know how you just affected mine. And I can't really even go into it because it's just, you did. And there are a lot of things I could talk about it and a lot of things I wouldn't, but thank you for your vulnerability. Just blew me away. And so thank you for being in that spot. And that's where a true actress needs to be to excel, is to be vulnerable. And so you've already got that down. You're amazing. Like you will go far.
Yeah. And it's crazy, as an actor, you have to be vulnerable, but at the same time you have to have thick skin.
Strength,
because
please,
oh my God, the industry
especially in
will
today's
try
cultures.
I know. Well, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
We love you. We thank you so much for coming today.
I appreciate it.
And we will be watching and following your career. I will be.
From a distance.
Bob probably. He'll be snoring, but from a distance.
Is that that girl we had on the show? I remember. What's she doing now? Okay.
No, well, you never know. She's going to be. She could be like the next.
One of the main characters in the cartoon coming up in March.
Well, good. Yeah, that's amazing.
And I'm really excited for that. So
It'll be fun.
yeah.
Well, thank you for coming today. We appreciate you. Yeah, you're so beautiful and kind. We thank you.
Such a great conversation.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Oh, all right.
I don't know.
You need to have an outro. You need to have and that's all the news is fit to print, some kind of thing.
Well, I'm just blown away by you. Like I'm literally, there's so many things that are in my head right now that are just, I don't even know. All
right, talk about the dress and we'll go out.
Oh.
Your mother must be proud. She must. So.
Is this one of those episodes where we can get him to cry and then we put it on
No, I'm not trying. I'm just like, that's a lot to go through for you. And to have those kind of, those kind of memories. Those are impactful. And you'll be able to draw on them when you work and you act, and there'll be good things to draw on, but that they're probably still very fresh, and they'll never go away, and you'll use them to your advantage.
Well, it also will toughen you up for when you don't get the role.
Yeah.
And you realize that there's always
And
another
it's not
way
even
in.
all about like acting. It's just like I don't know, you've shared your life. That I'm still reeling. I am. I will be for a while.
Oh,
I didn't expect you to say all those things.
This show is sponsored by Kleenex.
Can we get some?
I'm gonna get for next show the Coriolis effect tissues, and they're gonna go on the table and for everybody.
Well,
and we'll be like those shows where they say that they're not gonna make me cry. Corey's gonna make you cry.
And you know what? Honestly, it's just I feel very comfortable talking to you, and and that also.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
No, I care. I really I have a child. I know. I can't imagine. I mean, your story, you gave me a condensed version of your story, which I know we have a limited amount of time, but I can only imagine of all the other things that have gone on that are, but you are connecting the divine appointments with your life, which you're 10 steps ahead of where I probably was at your age. I mean, I could go on as to why this affected me so much, but it did. And you're there. You're gonna. I mean, great things are ahead of you. I see that. I get it. You've got wisdom and clarity, and you want to learn. You said in the beginning of this, I actually before camera was rolling, I was asking you, how do you want me to? What do we? I want to make sure that I adequately portray who you are and your interests. And you said, I am a
professional hobbyist.
Professional hobbyist, but that translates into so much more. Like you're open, right? You're an open person willing to, which is the whole point of this show, which is why you're so divine today, where you're open to accepting both sides, accepting all people, accepting the situation you're in.
Yeah.
Like it's so symbolic of what I've wanted to do with this show. And so it's not an accident that you're here today.
I truly believe it's, the chess pieces are being put together for me to end up.
It's a tapestry, and God is laying it all out for you. And He will, finally, the end of the show, end of our, please. Thank you, Bob. It is definitely, and you see that. So God has given you eyes to see, ears to hear. A veil has been lifted, and you are there. So maybe you can come back and is your mom here?
Yeah, she's
I would love to have you both on the show, and we could dive into more of your story.
Well, she doesn't speak English. She's not as open as.
Okay, well then you won't.
She's open as but I've always tried to have this conversation about what happened a lot in my childhood, get some clarity on some stuff. And she just kind of gets uncomfortable and kind of walks away and finds something to do. And I'm like,
do you know why?
Yeah.
I think
she had to do something that she didn't want to do for what she knew was good for herself and her child.
Yeah.
And I'm sure leaving you for 8 months was the hardest thing she ever
did in her entire life.
I know.
She knew it was going to be in the future, and but it's also a very tough thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Now that it worked out well, she wants to forget about the hard stuff she had to go through.
Absolutely.
And move on to the good stuff.
Well, you can tell her that I said, well done, good and faithful servant, because you're a beautiful woman and you're amazing. So thank you. I'm sorry I made you cry. I'm crying too, but there's so much more to this than just this podcast right now. It's a bigger picture,
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you. Karen Barraza, everyone. Follow her on her Instagram, which is down below.
Yeah.
And
if anybody wants to get in contact with me, you can do it through there.
Yeah, and we will be following you, and we will look forward to the day that you come back and we actually, we
also,
see a video of your movie.
Do you have an agent?
I do.
Who's your agent?
Well, I have a manager and an agent. I am Top 10 Talent is my manager, Gina.
Okay, great.
I
know. They don't know.
Oh, yes.
I know.
Gina is my manager. I love her. She's great. She's been with me for a while.
Gina's full name?
I don't know how to pronounce. I actually have never pronounced her last name, so I'm like Burbound.
Gina at Top 10 Talent.
Yes. .com.
Yeah.
And she books you?
Wow. Yes. Okay. Yes. Gina's great.
Well, we're going to connect. I'm going to connect with you, and
awesome.
And we will have you back to promote whatever it is that you're doing.
Back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The press, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the press. That's right. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will.
Well, if you're just tuning out, this is Karen Barraza, and she's an actress. Barraza. Sorry, I'm dyslexic.
No, you're good. You're good. I had a teacher.
That would be Azaraba. If you were dyslexic.
Am I sweating? I'm having a hot flash. Oh my god.
I had a theater teacher the whole semester. She called me Barraza.
Barraza.
I was like, not Italian, Mexican. You pronounce the R's, not the Z.
When you were doing your voiceover, you were doing this a few times.
Oh yeah,
and she was playing a deep Mexican Hispanic accent of the chief of staff, and I see this going on.
Well, you told me not to move my arms.
That's true.
So all I can move was this, my hands.
we have to.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah. I'm telling you.
I know.
Mexican. We do this a lot. Yeah.
I'm Italian. I know the arm movements.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah. Well, if you're just tuning out, this is the Coriolis effect, and again, please subscribe. If you're just tuning out,
if you're just tuning in,
yes, this is the Coriolis effect by Cory Oliver, and
Named after you.
And please subscribe, and you'll win a chance, or you'll raffle a chance to win this Beverly Hills Pawn original dress. I
Worn
designed
on how many
it.
episodes? How many episodes did you wear on?
66 episodes.
You wore that dress every episode?
Well, okay, so I had 5 dresses. The first season, I'm sorry, not 66. The first season, the first 13 episodes, I wore 1 dress. Then you get a bigger budget, you get more dresses. So I had 3. I actually designed this with a company called Stop Staring. And they wanted it to be short and all to be, and I was like, no, I'm going to cover my arms, I'm going to cover my legs. That's very long. And we came on a happy medium, and this was the dress. I have 3 of these, and I'm going to give 1 away to one of our subscribers. So please subscribe on the link below or up there, and you will automatically be enrolled to win this dress, or one of these 3. There's 3 of these. There's 5 total, but this is the actual design.
You give 1 away.
I'm going to give 1 away. Yes.
Okay. And
Ready to part with
do we have
one.
your permission to put a picture of you from Beverly Hills Pawn up on the screen right next to you?
Yes.
Go like this.
Yes.
Is that you? That's you wearing that dress? Yes.
In this dress. Yes. It's been in all the magazines. So yes, you could pull it from anyone. But thank you, Karen, for being here today. And thank you, Bob.
Karen has her own line of whips coming out.
Oh no! No, now they're
should
gonna
do
know me
that.
as the whip girl.
Well, hey, whatever gets you in the door, right?
You know what?
3. I'm sorry. I didn't know if we had. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
And we're out.